Hello, friends. Today we are going to be talking about the readathon that happens every March called Middle Grade March. And this is a readathon that for the past couple years I've known it's existed, but I always forget about it until it's like the end of March and I see everybody's like wrap up videos and I'm like, I missed it again. I missed it again. And it's a little frustrating. It's a little frustrating that I have missed it every year. But this year, YouTube was like, hey, Middle Grade March is coming up. And it showed me the videos before it got here. And so I am going to be partaking in it and reading along with it, because if you are new here, I do enjoy reading middle grade. I am in the process of trying to read through the rest of the middle grade that I own so that I can downsize the amount that I own and then strictly use the library to read my middle grades, because my in-home collection is kind of reflecting something different lately, but I still enjoy reading middle grade, and it's more of just kind of like I don't want to say a guilty pleasure because that doesn't sound right, but it's just something that I do for fun when I just need something just not heavy. I mean, some middle grade books can get a little heavy in content, but when it comes to like the actual like process of reading a middle grade, they tend to go pretty quickly for me. And so I that's why like my collection is kind of changing a little bit and why I want to stick with using the library. But before then, I still have a good 50 books in my collection that need to be read. And so I was like, well, this will be a good way to knock out a couple of them. And so I looked into it to figure out like what the prompts were and everything. So I now have all that information and I've picked out my books. And what's really nice is that this is kind of a readathon. I don't even know if that's the correct word too. I'm pretty sure it is. But I just know like the whole thing is called Middle Grade March, and it's just where you're supposed to read middle grades throughout March. Now, I'm not going to read nothing but middle grades in March because I do read all over the place, but I do want to at least make sure that I read some. And so I decided to follow along with the prompts for this and do it that way. But I will say the hosts of the Middle Grade March are Krista over at Books and Jams, Katie at Life Between Words, and then Amanda on the Middle Shelf. I will have all three of them linked below. That way you guys can find their channels, and then I will also have the announcement video linked down below as well. That way if anybody who also reads middle grade and is watching my channel can, hop on over and see what it's all about as well. So with that said, I do have the prompts right here and I have picked out my books. What's really nice is that there's only 5 prompts. 5. That's it. I love the fact that this is easy. And they're easy prompts too. One of them was a little difficult for me, and we'll talk about that when I get to it because there's a very specific reason why. But other than that, like, I love the fact that it's simple, it's small, it's easy, like it's not difficult. They make it very approachable because so many readathons are just, they're hard. Like there's so much to them, and so it's kind of like a turn off for me. But I like that this is easy, and I like that it's just 5 books, because I can normally read maybe about 12 to 14 books a month, depending on how everything is. And with middle grade, there was a month where I read 30 middle grades. That was a middle grade a day. Okay, so but if I can at least knock out 5 more from the 50 of my collection that need to be read, I'll take it. So anyways, let's go ahead and let's jump into the prompts, and I will tell you which books I picked and why, or what the book's about. All right, so prompt number 1 is name in the title. And for that one, I picked The Remarkable Inventions of Walter Mortensen. I've had this one for a while. It was like a spur of the moment kind of purchase that I got from Book Outlet a couple years back. And it looks like it's got like that steampunky. If you're new here, I don't read synopsises for like 90% of the books I own. I do a lot of like, I think it's gonna be like this, I think it's gonna be like that kind of thing. But I'm definitely getting steampunky inventions, obviously, with the title and everything, and it's gonna be based around one particular person. But yeah, it's definitely giving me steampunk vibes, and I'm kind of like here for that, because I do think middle grade does steampunk pretty fun. and I've never had a bad experience reading one. So we'll see if that's really what it is, but definitely this is the one I've picked for name in the title. The second prompt is books on the cover, and so this one was a little hard, and I was going to interpret it a different way, but then after I pulled the book off the shelf, I discovered that there was a book on the cover, and that is My Diary from the Edge of the World. If you look very closely down here in her hand, she's got a book in her hand, and I'm pretty certain that that's her diary, and in my opinion, a diary is a type of book. Okay, so either way, she's got a little book in her hand, and yeah, this is another one where I don't know anything about it. Spirited Restless Gracie Lockwood is a typical girl in a world that isn't exactly typical, one where Sasquatches helped win the American Civil War, where dragons glide over Route 1 on their way south of the winter, and mermaids hunt along the beaches, and where dark clouds come for people when they die. That sounds so interesting. What do you mean Sasquatches helped win the war? Like, see, this is what happens when you just like grab books. You end up with weird off the wall things and you don't even know it. So that sounds super intriguing. Like, this is the first time I've had this book for like a good 6 years. That's the first time I've read anything on the back of this. I'm blown away. I'm excited for this one now. Then the third prompt is historical fiction. And that one I picked The List of Unspeakable Fears by J. Casper Kramer. This one takes place during the typhoid. During the typhoid, when there was people were being quarantined because everybody was getting sick and everything. That is when this one takes place, but it's also like a horror crossover. I do remember that much. I know I started it, I think like last year, but then last year was a disaster, and so I did not finish it. But I know it involves a little girl moving to an island where her stepfather is running things and things are not as they seem, and it deals with the epidemic of the typhoid going around. So that is the one I picked. So it'll be kind of interesting to see the crossover between the horrors of it and then the historical aspect. So definitely looking forward to this one. Definitely hope it's good. And then prompt number 4 is siblings in the story. And for this one, I have chosen the second book in the Wingfeather saga, which is North or Be Eaten. It follows a trio of siblings, and I just got the audiobook in for this one, so I will be able to start this on March 1st. That way I can listen to the audio. I waited like 4 weeks for it, so it's kind of nice how it like aligned like that. It was kind of like the universe was like, hey, you're going to take part in middle grade March, and the audiobook is ready. So yeah, I didn't have the greatest experience with the first book, but I own the entire series, and I'm hoping it'll be better as it progresses, but we shall see. But yes, this is the one that I'm going to be reading for the siblings prompt, since it involves 3 siblings, 2 brothers and a sister. And I really, really hope that the sister's storyline starts to pick up, because I don't like the way she was treated in the first book. So yeah, we can only hope, right? And then the fifth prompt is BIPOC author. So this is the one I struggled with a little bit, because pretty much all of the BIPOC authors that I own in middle grade, I've already read. And so it took a little bit of like searching and like having to like really go in and like look up the author's names to be like, is this one? Because some of them names sound like they are a BIPOC author, and then you look them up and you're like, oh no, that's just a white person. But I did manage to find one unread on my shelf that is by a BIPOC author, and that is Mice of the Round Table, A Tale of Camelot by Julie Long. So this is what's really nice too, is that it's King Arthur adjacent. It is the Tale of Camelot like through the lens of a mouse, but the mouse becomes friends with a little boy named Galahad. So I'm super intrigued by this. It is the first in a series, and if I end up falling in love with this, it'll be one I don't get rid of, because I do have a King Arthur collection in general, and I love seeing all the different ways that King Arthur has been reimagined. And so I am looking forward to this one. I'm kind of like super excited that it's finally time, and I love that it was able to fit this prompt by having a BIPOC author. And yeah, it also kind of reminds me of the little, what is the little mouse series you guys know, by Brian Jacks, I think is his name. I can't remember the title of it right now, and it's driving me crazy, but it kind of is giving me those vibes because that follows a mouse as well. But I do like the fact that there is the combination of actually meeting a young boy, human boy, and so it's a mouse and a human boy working together, and I'm just like, that's gonna be so cute. So yes, those are, again, here we go. Here's all the spines. Here's the 5 that I have picked for my middle grade March readathon. Like I said, there will be other stuff that I read throughout March as well, but these ones will be a top priority since I want to get through my middle grade collection, as well as I want to be able to successfully complete a readathon or a just a challenge like this. Like, I've never been able to finish one because I get distracted, but I think I can do this one, and I think it'll be great. So yes, those are what I'm going to be reading for March, and so yeah, I look forward to it. So I hope you guys will look forward to it too. And if you guys are interested, like I said, I'll have everything linked down below. You know, if you guys have any middle grades that you're interested in reading, like even if you read just one next month, that'll be cool. So if you have anything you're interested in, let me know down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all of those great things, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.